background of your name, where you started and how long you've been here at the Raw Academy.
Okay, my name is Rav Masonette. I go by Coach Masonette. I've been coaching now 24 years in total. Excuse me. I coached, this is my third year here, and I've been coaching all over the place. I mean, I started when I was in college. I coached 2 years at Tallahassee Godby High School, coaching football, JV football. After that, I went to South Miami High School, coached there for a year, then went to Gulliver Prep for a couple of years. Then from there, I went to Florida State as a graduate assistant for the defensive side of the ball. Did that for 2 years, got my master's, and then came back to Miami, went back to Gulliver, and coached there from 2008 to 2011. We went to the state championship. I was strictly coaching football, and track was like my side gig. Coach that in the spring. In 2011, I became the head coach at Archbishop Carroll High School for football. Did that for 3 years. And then I was fortunate to go back to Gulliver in the same position that I was in before as the offensive coordinator for the football team. And then they hired me to coach track and field. The previous head coach, he quit like right before the season started.
Oh, wow.
And he asked me if I would do it. The athletic director asked me if I would do it. And there was barely any kids in the boys team. We had a bunch of girls in the program, but most of them were just there to get PE credit. They were really athletes. But over time, we were able to change the program. And within a few years, we had a couple girls who were state champions in distance events, long jump, the 200. And then our boys picked up. My last year there, we sent 14 kids to the state championships.
Oh, wow.
So we pretty much put both the boys and the girls teams on the map all over the place. I mean, we had a high jumper, we had a pole vaulter at states, we had sprinters, we had distance runners, we had relays, you name it. So now their program's doing well, and I left there, went to Westminster Christian for a year to help them out. They needed a coach. And while I was coaching there, the administration here asked if I would come here. And it was an opportunity I couldn't refuse, and so now I'm here.
The rest is history,
That's right.
It seems like you have that reputation of, coming in here and building a foundation that lasts even when you're not there. And I know that you're like the very type of always thinking ahead, like the future. And, you're going to all these schools and you're sort of like helping out build that foundation and get these runners and jumpers and all the boys and girls like, up to speed and what they can actually be.
Yep.
Even when because you're sitting here in the row and you're talking about all these specifics about what you did at all these old schools. I think that's great.
Me as a coach, I mean, listen, I coached football for 22 years, and as a football coach, I was very detail oriented. But when it comes to track and field, it's strength in numbers, right? And so I remember being at Gulliver Prep. It was all about, okay, how many kids can I get to come out, and then we can see what they can do, because there's so many different events in track and field. Mm-hmm. And when I came here, we had a bunch of kids, but I know with being at a big school, there's so much more talent. There's so many more kids that can be involved. So every day I was known as the person during the break time. Hey, you want to come out for track? You want to come out for track? You look like you'd be good for track, right? And
you look fast. Why don't you come with me after school?
What do you play a sport? Or I play volleyball? Oh, good. So you can jump, right? And you play softball? Yeah. Oh, good. So you can throw. Well, we have the javelin. You can do that, right? And so we created a culture of just bringing people together, and it seemed to be working out. And now I believe our programs have been pretty successful. I mean, we haven't won a state championship yet, but we're getting there, right? I want to be considered like one of the top coaches here at this school. I mean, we have so many great coaches that have already won a state championship.
Yeah.
I've yet to win one. So, but that happens with great athletes and great student athletes that we have here at Doral.
Yeah. So I actually have here written down. Let me know if this sounds familiar to you.
Okay.
Number 1, integrity. Number 2, quest for constant improvement. Number 3, positive and enthusiastic. Number 4, great teacher. Number 5, poised. Number 6, demanding. Number 7, a self-starter. Number 8, work ethic. Number 9, organized. And number 10, leader.
Yep, those are the characteristics of a coach.
Of a great coach.
Yes. I would hope so. I mean, you have to have most of those qualities in order to be effective, I think. So you got to be demanding, but you also have to be caring and You have to be detail oriented. I think my strength comes from organization, putting everything together. You know, we have over, between middle school and high school, we have over 120, 130 kids in our program.
Yeah.
And so that's talking to the kids, that's talking to the parents. I mean, it's a lot of people that you have to organize,
Yeah.
right? But creating a structure and a culture where we can get it done, and once it all comes together, it looks how it looks.
Yeah, I remember last year when I was a junior, when when you're a junior in the program, you are assigned a sport when you got to go cover it. I remember I got assigned lacrosse, and I was there, and I remember texting you and getting the schedule. I think out of all the coaches, no offense to the other coaches, I know I want to have them on, but that was the most like, oh, coach, you got the schedule right here, and it's every day of the season, every meet, every practice, oh, and I remember when I went actually to Larry and Penny, the first person I saw was you, and you're like, oh, what's up? You here to film? No worries, do your thing. And it was, super helpful. And I think about that organization, like it not only helps you guys, but it helps everybody. I bet the parents, like I remember getting there and it was for cross. So you have they start at the start and like you have to run and catch up to them to the other side. So I'm there with my big camera, running with the tripod. And I remember all the parents, I'm like, oh, like, where's the next one? I've never been. Oh, this way, look, follow me. Everybody, it's like.
So it's funny you say that, because when I first got hired and we're having practice in the summer, it was hilarious to me that the parents felt like they had to remind me of things. Hey, coach, by the way, don't forget that you have to do this. Oh, by the way, you got to make sure that you put this in the chat, and you got to talk about this, and you got to make sure these things are here. And so one day I had to bring them all together. I go, parents, listen, it was my first year coaching cross country, by the way. I had never coached before. But I brought them together. I go, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know much about cross country, but there's one thing I do know, and I will be organized. You do not need to ask me a question. And so my goal is to try to eliminate questions from parents, right? I try to get out as much information, as detailed as possible, so that any question that they had in their head is already answered. Because imagine if I'm not, now I have several parents all the time. What time is practice? What time is the meet? Where's the location? What is going on, right? And that can be very overburdening. Like, I got so many other things going on at that time, to deal with those parents each. So if I can answer everybody's questions and be organized in that way, then that's one less thing that I have to worry about.
Of course. So, focusing more on this season and this upcoming season. I remember last season you guys went to states for track. For track.
For boys. For
boys?
cross country, we did our boys and girls. And for track, I had one girl who qualified for states.
That's fantastic, Coach. So I'm here. What I love about we were talking about before we started filming, but the Instagram. Every time I'm there, I had to. For us, you have to crunch out the sports report for every event. You guys I remember last year, we would see how you put your little description of, on Saturday, our boys and girls competed at Tropical. Yep. I know that's you.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all about branding, right?
Course.
And so, and it's funny, I had a conversation with a parent yesterday. The kids love it, right? But I know that the parents love it. And I also know that parents from other schools love it, right? And so when they see, well, look at Doral, right? They're organized. Look at their uniforms, how they look. They're wearing Nike, right? Look at what they're saying about their kids. It's all positive. They're mentioning kids. They're mentioning kids who are probably not even the winners, And so now a family's child is being recognized for at least being a part of the program, spotlighted on Instagram, right? And now they're liking it. And now their families are liking it. And now their friends are liking it, right? And everybody's friends are liking it. And I mean, since I've been here, we've probably gained, 1,000 followers,
Wow.
Easily. So it's all about branding, right? What can we do? The first thing that I noticed was we didn't have all red warm-ups, right? And so I got the red warm-ups, and at first the kids were like, why are we getting these? We like hoodies. I'm like, no, we need to look official. When we come off the bus, we want to look a certain way. And sure enough, when we would go travel, teams from all across the state would see us and they're like, wow, I like that.
That's the wow.
Yeah, right? It's our brand. It's our look.
Yeah.
Our girls, they wear red bows. Right? And so I'm like
that.
a girl dad, because I'm always making sure that I have scissors and a red bow, because if I see a girl without a red bow, like, no, you got to put this on.
Yeah.
It's all about our look, it's our style, it's our brand. And so other people see that and they're like, I want to be a part of that. That's the hope.
Yeah, I'm focusing on like on this like performance. I'm saying here, Sebastian. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Carasp.
Carasp. That man, he's been killing it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
oh yeah. So he broke the school record in cross country. He ran a 16:11. He's been amazing. He transferred to our school last year, and he's been awesome. He's helped our other boys advance as well. Jonathan Alvarez
Yeah.
would probably be the school record holder if Sebastian wasn't here, but he's been phenomenal. I mean, we have two boys right there who are some of the top runners in the state.
Yeah.
And then we have a really good junior class. We have a kid, Victor Pedrea, that's been improving so much. We've got kids who are running 22 and 23 minutes in the 5K when they first started with us, and now they've shaved 6 minutes off. Like, you know how crazy it
incredible.
is to shave 6 minutes off of your time
In
when you're
such
racing?
short like amount of like time.
Oh,
too.
100%, right? And our girls when we first got here, girls were running in the 22s and 23s, and now we have a lot of our girls in the low 20s, and we have a freshman girl who's running 19 low, and she might break 19 minutes. I mean, she's literally one of the top freshman girls in the country.
Wow. I remember like just hearing. I feel like every time I check the Instagram, there's a new record broken.
Oh yeah.
Like especially last year, or especially in track as well. Like every time I go, because I follow the account, I'll scroll. I'll be like new record, and then it'll be the next
But
week.
that's a credit to my assistant coaches. I've put together a good staff that are well versed in the programming of cross country, especially. We have great coaches, and they're detail oriented like myself, which helps. And the kids follow the program, and they've done extremely well. We've been training all summer, and so yeah, it's been extremely a good start. You know, we just hope that we can stay healthy towards the end.
Yeah, and just I know you're well, actually, a little side note. Happy birthday! I know your birthday
Thank you.
was last Saturday. I saw
Friday, yeah.
Friday, yeah. So happy and sorry. I know you're born and raised in Miami. I saw you went to Palmetto.
Yep.
And then you talked about how you went to Florida. And what I saw
Florida
was
State.
that was Florida State. You're right.
Yeah.
What was interesting is you studied sociology.
Yes.
So I kind of had a theory when I saw, like, oh, that's pretty funny, because I see how you're posting everything about and, preaching this like coach mentality and things to be great. And I love that so much. Like, I love seeing what makes the coaches like this is the whole point of the show. I want to see how you guys are operating your team and what leads to that success, what leads to fixing everything, and what leads to, greatness.
So I can tell you straight up, I learned this a long time ago. When I first started coaching football, all I knew was from how my high school coach showed me. And he was very tough. He was very demanding. I didn't see a lot of sweetness or niceness, I coached at Florida State for 2 years as a graduate assistant, which means I was at the bottom of the totem pole. But my experience there was similar. I mean, the position coaches, they were, and they were getting angry and they were using bad language.
Especially at that school.
Oh, my goodness. Everything was full speed and just
where
intense.
the demands are like up here.
Yes. And a lot of it, too, was, I don't know how to explain it, where demeaning to the players, right? Yeah. Where they felt like the players had to do what they told them to do or else they wouldn't play. And so they spoke to them certain type of ways. So when I left that environment, although I was well-versed in the skill of coaching the sport, I also had that experience and thought that's how it kind of should be. And what I realized really quickly is that we're all human and we're people and we have to live with ourselves, whatever we hear in our heads, throughout the day. And so when you're hearing that demeaning talk all the time, that's not good. Another thing that I learned was that if you are going to say something tough to somebody, you better say something nice to them first, right? You better show that you care. As a football coach, I'm asking you to run full speed through a wall. I mean, why should I do that? But if I feel that you care about me, I might do it, right?
You might put a little more.
Yeah, like, well, coach cares about my mentality, so okay, I'll do it, right? And so I learned, especially coaching girls, right, that you can't just be hard on them. You need to ask them how they feel. How's your day going? How's school? What's going on at home? Everything good? not too personal because I don't care about boyfriends and girlfriends and any of that stuff,
Yeah.
but they need to know that I actually care about them.
Yeah, you're
Right?
not just here to see, growth. You care about them as a
It's
person.
not about me, right?
You're right.
I already played the sport.
You're right.
It's about them. So once you get that connection with the kids, they'll do whatever you ask them to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key. Some of them it takes a little bit longer, so I have to keep prying some more. No, 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 no! Don't walk away from me. Come here, come here. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. And they start opening up. I mean, I have kids who, when they first come into our program, they're quiet, they're shy, and every day I'm like, hey, what's going on? And all of a sudden they're very talkative and they won't stop talking. Which is good. That means they're comfortable and now they can relax and just focus and practice on what they need to do and then perform like they want to do.
Yeah, when you mentioned up how you're like branding all these like, for example, Carlos and Victor, and even what I like, the middle school. You're promoting the hell out of the middle
Yeah.
school and how great they're doing, and you think of it from their perspective. Oh my God, I'm on the Instagram. My coach just posted me. He's saying how I did a great job. That's a boost on the morale. It's gonna want them to push further. I think that's dope.
Yeah.
Like you're really like building. And I remember because I've been here since like sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you got hired. I go, oh, who's this guy? Like, what is he coaching? And I saw that it was track and cross, and then all of a sudden, new record broken. New record broken. Oh, Alec, you gonna join track, bro? Come on, we need more people. I seen you run. You could run. Come to track. All a bunch of friends are doing it, and like they really enjoy it, and they really see the passion in it. And the biggest thing that I've heard is how of a great coach you are. So I
Hey,
wanted to.
listen, I'll say this. The difference between football and track, in football, I had control of everything to the point where a player would play, it was on me. If a player didn't play, it was on me.
Mm-hmm.
With track and cross country, when it's time to perform, it's all on them, right? And so I may be considered a good coach, but I have very talented athletes, very disciplined athletes that do the work that's required, and they make me look good.
They really do.
Yeah.
I really like what you said. It's about them. That I play the sport, it's their time to shine now, and I
That's
think
right.
that's a really good like mentality to have in terms of that, because it's the truth.
Right.
You've had your glory days.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna go run.
Oh, I'm not running
You're
anything.
not running with them.
Nah, nah.
I actually saw that you worked out every day for 86 days.
Yeah. So last year I did this program where I was going to do 100 days of 2 workouts a day and a strict diet. And on the 86th day, I messed up my my knee, and so I had to stop. I was trying to go for 100 straight.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been tough. I haven't been able to run like I used to, but we find other ways. I swim and walk, do the elliptical, and do other things.
Yeah, when like I'm trying to see it from a player side, I'm seeing it from a coach, and I'm seeing it from a player,
Right.
My coach is doing a workout.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day he's busting. And,
Well, when I got hurt, it was because I was running with my team.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
heard me running with
that's-
them?
So every time they would practice, I had to do something, right? And so they saw it. I mean, kids and coaches from other schools were seeing it too. They're like, "Wow, that's impressive." Obviously, I'm not running at the rate they were, but at least I was doing something because you got to set an example too. Hey, if I'm here doing something, why can't you do it?
You're right. And like sorry, excuse me. Man, I lost my train of thought completely. Damn. About
The training,
this is horrible.
that's okay.
Yes, with the training, and you're working out every day, you're setting an example.
Yep.
I'm working out 86 days like straight,
Right,
and
right.
your players are thinking, well, this is how I would see it. I don't know. I can't speak for your players, but I feel like it's really like positive that, oh, my coach is, working just as us, like almost as harder as us. We're young, we're
But it's also it's a combination of the effort and the mentality of, hey, we wish we all could be somewhere in our journey of athleticism, but you have to start somewhere and you have to show consistency in order to get there, right? So I remember the first time I did something like this, I was telling kids, hey, look, it's the first time that I ran a mile in this amount of time, but it took me a while to get there. So I say that to the kids because a lot of times they see themselves when they first start or they're in the beginning of their training, like, oh, this is not for me. This is not doing what I thought it would be. And I have to give them some type of example to inspire them and like, look, this is what I've done. And this is what I'm doing right now. And they're like, for real? Wow, that's really good. And I'm like, yeah, so if I can do it, you can do it too, right? And they inspire me too. You know, I see the amount of work that they're doing and I'm like, okay, well, they're putting in work. I got to do something.
Yeah. I'm gonna, try to wrap it up, near the end here. I know you gotta go. But, I'm hearing these words from you, example, leading,
Yes.
legacy, foundation, and how you said you want to be, or go down in the, as one of the like best coaches in the school, compared to your other coaches. And, how important is that for you? Building that legacy that even when you leave the route, when you retire or go somewhere else, how are you like, how would you want to be like remembered in this program and what you did for the school?
So I hope I'm remembered obviously in a positive light. I mean, there's coaches that, I've been around where maybe they're not so positive, but ultimately it's not up to my opinion of myself, right? It's the opinion of those who I coach. And so I hope that I can continue to set a positive example, do the right things that are necessary, be detail oriented, and create a culture that kids want to be a part of the program. Kids are trying to be a part of the program. Kids who graduate will come back and speak highly of the program that they were a part of, right? That's all that I really care about. Obviously, I would love to win a state championship as a team. We've had individuals win when at my previous schools, but to win a state championship, to win a region championship, to win a district championship, I mean, those are banners that they don't take down as well.
Yeah.
And being at a school like Doral Academy where the soccer coaches won, the baseball coaches won, the softball coaches won, right? I mean, that's part of it. But ultimately, regardless, I haven't won one yet. And so I'm okay as long as the kids feel that it was a positive experience being
Yeah.
involved in his program.
They're always like your growth and progress isn't defined by a banner, obviously,
Correct.
or a championship or anything. It's
Correct.
defined by what you define it as. And,
Right.
from the looks of it, of talking to you, I see what you define it as, and just that personal growth,
That's right.
step by step, and just figuring out how you're comfortable and what, like, because it is sort of a team sport,
Right.
but like you said, when the gun shoots, it's all on them,
That's right.
And I think that's just a great environment, like when I was researching for this and like researching you, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be like a great episode, great talk, this, I really agree and like love the way that you think and the way you operate. I think it's super cool, man.
Well, I appreciate it,
course.
and congrats to you. I mean, you've done a few of these now. You get better
Thank
and
you.
better as you do it.
Thank
and,
you, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to see where this journey takes
Of
you
course.
in this road as well.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to have you back. A couple episodes, rekindle our conversation, continue. But I thank you for your time, Coach. I know you got to get back. But this is a great conversation, Coach. I appreciate it. And yep, so make sure to tune in 2 weeks from now to the next Sideline story. This has been Coach Masonette. And yeah, any final words?
Go Firebirds.
Go Firebirds. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.